Quibi launched. We talked about Quibi a while ago, like when I think it was doing the Super Bowl actually, because they spend money with all these commercials, and I don't know if people knew what it was back then when they say I'll be back in a Quibi or something. So obviously you're more familiar with it. I know the gist of it, but you actually downloaded it and been kind of playing with it a little bit. So why don't you go ahead and give us a little rundown of?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know what Quibi is, it's basically we have it on the screen. It's not made for a desktop. It's basically specifically made mobile first. It's kind of like a Netflix, but basically everything is 10 minutes or less. All the shows can be watched vertically or horizontally. And so they're filmed in the same way, so you can swap back and forth kind of seamlessly. And that's kind of the unique thing. Basically, everything is less than 10 minutes, and it can be watched vertically or horizontally. That's their whole thing, and it's targeted at the younger people.
Is that right? I mean, because I was listening that there's shows that.
They're targeting everyone, but they specifically are targeting what they said are like millennials and Gen Z. So my review of it, is that what we want?
But the videos are actually, this is not like a TikTok, this is not a Snapchat or anything. These are actually produced videos. I mean,
yes, it's
created
produced
by it's almost like a.
Yeah, no, it's like a.
It's like a Netflix.
The
with
thing
a
that I
10-minute
describe it
limit per
as
show.
is it's a higher production value YouTube. As far as like the
No,
type
but
of
YouTube is user generated
no,
content.
but I mean as far as, to me, the videos, and I'm going to get into my kind of review so far, are very YouTube-esque, just higher production value, basically. And they even have a lot of YouTube and TikTok and people from there. But yes, it's not user-generated, no. It's all
right. So
created.
To me, a better analogy, I'm trying to understand myself, is more like almost like a Netflix.
It's just all original content. That's all it is. It's like Netflix. It's all original content.
It's all original content.
Yeah.
The premise is that they have shows that have episodes and series and all that.
Their whole premise is just basically
10 minutes.
High quality original content that shows are 10 minutes or less. Right. That's the whole thing.
So right now they have two pricing models that are.
Anybody can try. If you want to download it, it's 90 days free for everybody right now. But yeah, they have two pricing models. I think it's $5 or $6 a month, and then if you want no ads, it's $8 a month or something like that. So it does have ads. Not impressed so far. It's very. It gives me very like MTV VH1 vibes as far as the type of content that it has. And that's fine. Obviously, that has its audience, but basically, to me, they're competing with YouTube. Is their biggest competitor.
Is that it? I mean, are they competing with because?
No, I think they're competing with YouTube because they're obviously when you're in video streaming, you're competing with lots of people. But the closest direct competitor, I would say, is YouTube. Like, I don't think there's so much competing with Netflix because Netflix has like hour-long shows and really serious stuff. Or movies or whatever, that when you watch Netflix, you really sit down to watch it. This is like everything is like most of their shows are like 5, 6, 7 minutes. So now that is much more competing with YouTube than they're competing with Netflix. And to me, when I watch this, I've watched a few of the shows. We have some of them up now. Like I watched this one. I watched one episode. I couldn't watch more. It was really bad. Chrissy Teigen's Court or whatever they call it. Chrissy's Court.
Yeah.
It's basically Chrissy Teigen, who, if you don't know who that is, that's John Legend's wife. And basically it's like Judge Judy, but she's the judge instead of Judge Judy. It was bad, honestly. I'm not a big fan of Judge Judy. I get the appeal of those shows. It's whatever. But I don't know. Personally, I just didn't like the show. It was really like.
So not even if you saw just like 7 minutes. Short.
It was literally 6 minutes, and like 4 minutes in, I stopped watching because I was so bored. Okay, so I'll give the good parts first. The good parts, the UI is not bad. How they basically, there's some certain features. Can you pull up? I guess you have the desktop. Because obviously I have it on my phone, but the UI is not bad. As far as everyone download it. It's free for 90 days. Give it a shot. Maybe you like it. But basically, when you're scrolling through, I kind of like how they have it. They don't do autoplay previews, which is nice. I hate that. I hate that so much on Netflix and other streaming platforms that autoplay things. They don't do that, so that's good. When you're holding if you're watching it vertically, the play bar. So I don't know how you say that. Like you know how on YouTube you have a bar with the progress bar, the play button, all that.
Yeah.
It's vertical instead of horizontal.
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
They have if you want to listen without audio and subtitles, you can just kind of hold the screen and it'll switch to subtitles. So there's some good UX. Features. I will say that. Yeah. It's a decently designed app. There's also some bugs, some things that are a little annoying, but it just was released.
We need to clarify that the founder of this is Jeffrey Katzenberg.
It's the two co-founders. So you have Meg Whitman.
Meg Whitman is the CEO. And then
they're co-founders. It's Meg Whitman. She's the CEO. She used to be the CEO of HP. Katzenberg used to be the CEO of Paramount and head of Disney Studios back in the day.
Right. So, I mean, they both are heavy hitters and they have a lot of experience. And they obviously have a lot of investor power behind them, too.
Right.
So,
that's why they raised
so it's not like two guys that just came out of the garage with coming up with this application.
Right. Well, that was my other argument. That was basically, I said, okay, forget about who made this. If it wasn't those two people who are like heavy hitters, okay, if this was just two other random founders who raised a bunch of money from VCs, I think people would be absolutely trashing this with the amount of money they raised. Because, like I said, the UX is good. There's some things I don't really like about the UX. There's some bugs, but they just launched, so I'll give them slack. They have some new things that I like.
Well, they have already 1.7 million downloads. Yeah, obviously, it's the free version.
That's not that much, honestly. I mean, 1.7 million when you have a 90-day free trial. How many of those?
But they were actually comparing in downloads with Disney Plus and subscribers. And
but Disney Plus blows them out of the water. Disney Plus passed 50 million.
Obviously, I mean, but I'm just saying that when you are in the same line, the same sentence as Disney Plus, as far as saying,
I don't think they are in the same sentence.
Well, they were they were not. But as far as subscribers, downloads, and things like that, I was just listening to a different podcast this morning, and they were very excited about the number of downloads. Like you said, it's a 90-day free trial.
Yeah, but what are they going to say? What is Quibi going to say? We just launched and we're really disappointed.
No, but I mean, the numbers are there. 1.7 million downloads when they just launched really like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I forgot what they did.
Yeah, but 1.7 million downloads when you spent over $1 billion, I don't know if that's that good.
We'll see how many of those become paid subscriptions versus the free 90 days tested and take off.
So, okay, first of all, I'm shocked at how little programming they have. They have like very few shows. I think when they launched, they had like 15, and now they've added a few shows, but I don't think they even have like 30 shows left, which is shocking. Especially because keep in mind, all the shows are like. Oh, you're gonna count them all here?
I don't know how many they have, but they probably have. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can load more. I mean, they were talking about adding. Yeah, that's the end. So they have about between 25 and 30 shows.
Yeah, but keep in mind, all the episodes are like 5-10 minutes.
Right.
So really, I think someone did the math. I saw it on Twitter, and there's like 12 hours of content on the whole thing right now. Yeah. And it's like, that's
it's consumed very rapidly, obviously, especially these days.
Right. Like, basically, someone said you could watch everything in 12 hours.
You can binge watch this whole thing, yeah.
Right. It's like, people could watch, that's like a season of a Netflix
But their
show.
goal is to get content creators and developers and directors and producers that has shows that were not approved by other major studios or whatever, saying, okay, we're going to have the shows posted here. Then
yeah, but maybe there's a reason why they weren't approved.
The premise is that they own, well, in some cases, I don't want to get into potential issues or whatever, but the premise is that when the shows go here, they still own all the rights to the shows and everything, and then they can still market the shows elsewhere. So it's like a little avenue for creators that have their shows vetted or something to be able to expose them wherever. Like you go to Netflix with a show and they say, oh, but they have a pretty much higher bar. Here you can put a little, almost like a premiere or preview episode or something, and then create like a little mini series, and then another major studio may say, oh, we like that concept, and then they make like a whole 1 hour show or something. So that was the premise, that some people may like it, but
okay, well, to continue with my review, okay, so on the user experience side, they have some unique things. I like it. I think they've done some cool things with that. There's improvements that definitely could be made, but it's pretty good so far. So I'll give them credit on that side. But I will say, of the two things that basically this app needs, which is great content and great user experience. The user experience matters much less, because if you have a clunky UX but the content is amazing, it doesn't matter. People will watch anyways. But if you have, I don't want to say shitty, but if you have mediocre content, which I think they have, it doesn't matter. Because here's the thing: if you want to scroll back up on the shows, I downloaded it. I didn't look at anybody's review. I downloaded it on the first day as soon as it came out. I didn't look at anybody's review. I wanted to give it an honest, real trial of the show and really give it, or of the platform, and give it a shot. And I watched like 5 or 6 different shows, and I just wasn't impressed. The only one that I liked, but that's because it's not even something new, and it's fine, but it's nothing special, was Punked. Which used to be a show on MTV, and it's punked, it's punked. If anybody's watched it, it's basically pranking like celebrities and stuff. It's fine. It's exactly what you expect. It's basically like 6-7 minute prank videos. It's fine. It's entertaining. It's whatever. But nothing special. It wouldn't be like an anchor for the platform,
right?
But it's fine. But I will say, like I said, when they're competing with YouTube, there's a million prank channels on YouTube who do all these things. The only difference is these guys have bigger names that they prank and bigger production budgets when they do these pranks. So it's a little more elaborate. But so that show's fine. I watched, like I said, the Chrissy Teigen show. I didn't like it at all. Maybe it's not for me, whatever. Some of the other shows, this comedy, Agua Donkeys or whatever, I didn't think it was funny at all. It's like these 2 pool boys that are like grown men and they're kind of like losers, and I don't know. I personally didn't think it was funny at all. Keep going. Fierce Queens, which is basically Reese Witherspoon narrating over these cheetahs. It was okay, but it was like, I've seen nature documentaries done 10 times better. In my opinion, it was like, okay, whatever. Keep scrolling down. Let's see, what else did I watch? I didn't watch this one, the I Promise with LeBron. I wasn't that interested. It's basically like a press run for LeBron. The only show that I thought was actually unique and I thought might be decent and that could be a real franchise was this one right here. Murder House Flip. This is the only show that I said, okay, that's actually a good, unique idea I've never seen before.
Right.
They basically took crime, which people love crime, and then they took house flipping, which is another big thing. They basically took HGTV and like a crime show and combined it, and they basically take a house where like someone was murdered.
Law and Order and HGTV together.
Yes. So they took a house where someone was murdered, and then they flip it and try to sell it.
Right.
I thought it was a unique concept and idea, and I liked it.
Whoever came up with that concept now has a 6, 7, 8 minute show, and then maybe they make it a series so the guy still owns the show. So it's probably a good platform for some people.
So I think of all the shows, I thought that was their best one as far as originality and something I haven't seen before. I thought it was good. They took 2 concepts that people love and combined them. But yeah, I mean, overall, and then you have Punked there. Overall, though, the problem with
I think they'll come with more shows. Obviously,
yeah, they will come with more shows, but it's really a hit-driven game, and they definitely don't have a hit. And like I said, the problem is that they're charging $5 a month for content that honestly I think is done better on YouTube for free. Because there's a big thing that I totally disagree with that so many media execs I think don't understand yet, and that higher production value does not mean higher production quality. Okay, right. Because just because they have big crews and spend a bunch of money on a production, that doesn't mean it's more entertaining.
Right.
And I'm of the generation of Gen Z where basically everybody watches YouTube. Basically, 2 things that everybody watches are YouTube and Netflix that are my age. And I see much more entertaining content on YouTube than I've seen on here. And I gave it a real honest shot. I'm the perfect demo audience. The other thing is the vertical versus horizontal thing. At first I was watching everything vertical because I said, okay, it's like meant to be vertical. But then I was like, well, I'm just going to watch it horizontal because it's wider.
Right.
And it was kind of gimmicky, honestly. I ended up watching everything horizontally because you get to see more.
Yeah, but it gives you the option of this. So I have a couple more questions for you, but we'll get to those after this little break. Welcome back. I'm here with David, and we were just talking about Quibi, who launched the company that just launched their app, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Which the timing is a little bit.
I think the timing was good. I actually thought that they should have pushed up the launch as soon as the
Well,
quarantine
but
started happening.
they had the timing. I mean, they have the launch already. That date set. That's why they started advertising
Right.
so heavily during the Super Bowl, which was at the beginning, the first weekend in February, and then obviously with the coronavirus, they were saying, okay, should we push it back or not? But obviously with more people are home, and they said, okay, well, people are going to be hungry for more content. They decide to
Yeah.
continue. So even though that means that they also have more competition. But
So
one
you
thing
had
I
a
wanted,
question.
yes, I do have a question. You were talking about comparing mostly the audience for Quibi and YouTube, and saying, okay, YouTube offers that, but YouTube has their own creators studio where developers or creators actually put their shows on YouTube and all that. Do you think this will maybe drive some of those creators to Quibi, saying, hey, we want to be more in this kind of exclusive platform instead of being lost in a sea of thousands and millions of other videos?
No. Big YouTubers? No, definitely not. Why would they do that? Because Quibi is closed. It's not open to they have no control. No. But what I said that Quibi should do, I think a few months ago when we first talked about them, and I still think that they should do now, is basically, especially because who's their target audience? It's like young people. Okay, well, they're paying lots of celebrities. They have like, Reese Witherspoon and LeBron and Chance the Rapper and all these people. But to me, if I was Quibi, what I would do, what those people, maybe they're more famous, but they don't have the pull that YouTubers do on content. And if I were them, instead of writing big checks to Reese Witherspoon, I would write a big check to famous YouTubers, whoever it may be, David Dobrik, whatever, and say, okay, make a show on Quibi. That's how you get people to come.
Do you think?
And then promote it through your other channels.
Do you think, or do you know if any of these celebrities are part investors too, or they are doing some kind of?
I don't know if they're part investors. I know that Quibi raised a ton of money and basically was using that to write massive checks to people, basically, and basically paying all these people. I don't know how many of them are equity partners or not, but if I was Quibi, if I have all this money, instead of giving it to like old school celebrities, because that's not my target demo. I don't know how many 19-year-olds really care about Reese Witherspoon. Maybe they do, but I don't think she definitely doesn't have the pull of big YouTuber. She just doesn't. And that's how you get them on the platform. You give them full creative control, but with because the only thing is that most YouTubers, I mean, almost all YouTubers don't have big production budgets because obviously they're just YouTubers, and so they don't have casts and crew and all that stuff. If they were able to get a crew and have bigger productions and then kind of have creative control but just do what they do on YouTube but 10 times bigger because they have the budget and put it on Quibi, that's how you could pull people in. That's what I would do if I were them. That's where I think their flaw in the strategy is that they're trying to do all these shows. They're trying to make like, because some of these shows are very almost Netflix-ish, where it's like a real serious drama, but it's like 7 minutes. It's like, do you really get hooked into a show like that in 7 minutes?
I think what we're trying to do is find this, like I think Jeffrey was saying, Katzenberg was saying in that previous interview that I listened to, that they can see the heat map or when the spikes are in content streaming and downloads, and they said it was early in the morning, and obviously, like people are sort of work these days, so it kind of seems to me that people are looking for this content that they can consume in a short time, maybe in like you said, in 8 to 10 minute blocks, doing a commute or doing maybe they are preparing breakfast, I don't know, or maybe in the evening when they're doing something else, but it's not something they need to be in front of the TV for like half hour to an hour if it's a Netflix show, So you have a little time to say, hey, I have like 5-10 minutes.
Right, and that's
like
where
the famous commercial when you say I do it in a Quibi, like saying, okay, I have 6 minutes to kill, I'm going to watch one episode.
But that's where YouTubers shine. Most YouTubers make 5 to 15 minute videos. That's their whole thing, and they have millions of fans. That's where they shine. So why not just say, okay, you have full creative control, or not full, they would never do that. I know big studios don't like to do that, but you have majority creative control and you have this big budget behind you, so you can do whatever you want to normally do, but just amplified 10 times bigger. And then we're going to put it on a Quibi, and you can only watch it on Quibi.
Right.
I promise you they would pull in way more. 1.7 million, they could have 17 million people signed up.
Well,
by
maybe
now.
I mean I don't know. Time will tell. It's too soon, and we'll see.
Quibi execs, if you're listening to this, that's what you should do. When you do it and it succeeds and you're making millions, I will wait for my royalty check. Thank you very much.
Well, but just to recap or to sum it up at the end, where do you see Quibi in the next 6 months? I mean, much more content.
Obviously, I'm sure they have a ton more content coming out. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, obviously,
the pricing,
the model is obviously subscription model and commercials.
That we'll find out 3 months from now is how many people actually subscribe. Because you have a 90-day free trial, and maybe especially now where people are starved for content and they see this new platform and they've spent a ridiculous amount of money on ads too. So that's how they got 1.7 million people. But what percentage of those people are going to subscribe?
To me now, the streaming. You and I are